Oh, oh, this weather, this winter. Is it just me, or are the British winters getting worse? Okay, the best 5 boulders from 2024. Quite like doing these videos. It's a nice opportunity to kind of reflect on the year. So yeah, 2024, interesting year. Managed to visit and go on a few trips, which was really nice. Wasn't the most successful year. I guess the main focus was Rocklands in the summer, with the idea of trying to get back on Monkey Wedding to see if I could maybe do it. The start of the year started really well, felt really strong actually, probably the strongest I've felt in ages. Then unfortunately I got injured, got a really bad, weird elbow injury, which wasn't really like tendonitis or anything, it was more around this finger, but it presented itself in there. But with a bit of help from Huffy and Dave Mason, managed to kind of recover, but did have to take maybe 6 to 8 weeks off really climbing. Which is a bit of a shame, which kind of put me back a bit, and I had to cancel a trip to Font. Not the best place for elbows. So yeah, but I guess the first really good boulder problem that I was really pleased to do of 2024 was Rocking Spectre. Rocking Spectre is at Dove Crag. It's a big long walk in, probably 50 minutes, halfway up a mountain in the Lake District. Always wanted to do this ever since I saw Dan do it on blockheads. Started off not being able to do a single move, but I found the moves really interesting, so I kept on going back and managed to find some beta that worked for me, and then gradually piece it together. Had a lot of sessions up there on my own. Then the session I actually did it, went with Dan and Liam Hutchinson. Dan absolutely walloped a boulder problem called Out of the Shadows, put up by Aidan, and then literally on the last kind of easy move, he split his tip, and I've never seen a tip so bad, but that was pretty impressive to watch. Yeah, and then I managed to do it, so yeah, it's pretty chuffed with that. So one thing 2024 has brought me is a good warm-up routine that I do pretty much every time I climb now, which is nice. Try and prevent some of those injuries. So yeah, the year pretty much focused around Rocklands, trying to get up Monkey Wedding, which I tried before, got very close on. That came around pretty quickly. Yeah, had a great trip. Unfortunately, when I got there, I'd been having some trouble with my neck. Just like really knotted, and I spent the first kind of probably 5-6 days in pretty much agony, not really being able to kind of twist my neck or move my shoulder, which is annoying. Then managed to have a few sessions on Monkey Wedding. It was beginning to come together. I was feeling much better on it, but unfortunately the last kind of week, 10 days, the weather turned real bad. The worst I've ever had in Rocklands. Lots of flooding, got stuck in our accommodation. Yeah, and as it was, you know, I'd been there a few times and all my mates hadn't been there, I was just kind of showing them around. But one new venue we went to was called the Realm, and we did an amazing problem called Eye of Sauron. Amazing wall, pretty high ball, really cool features. Yeah, so really enjoyed that one. Well, that's probably the hardest boulder problem I've done on my board in 2024 on the last day. Cool. So next boulder problem, what makes a good boulder problem for me is probably nice climbing, like good movement, good rock, and a good line. Generally slightly high ball, and Red Dragon is all of those. It's at Queen's Crag. It's one of those boulder problems that I kind of wrote off. Really, I just found it really hard. Didn't quite fit the various different ways. But I actually spent probably an hour and a half on a rope with my mate Cal, and I eventually figured out this really high foothold that actually unlocked it for me, and it turned out to be kind of quite steady when I did it. So I was dead chuffed, and it's cool to see Tim Blake also using that method a few weeks later. So yeah, that one is a belter. Just making my mate Catsy some climbing holds while I have a board session. So I guess we talked a little bit about what makes a good boulder problem for me, but sometimes it is just also the experience that you have on that boulder. It doesn't necessarily have to be the world's best. And one of those was a new boulder problem kind of developed by Dan and Greg in the Lake District. Probably the best new problem in the lakes this year, I'd say. And yeah, it was a pretty miserable day. It was in that period of anti-cyclonic gloom, I think they called it. But risked it, drove over to the Duddon, and yeah, managed to do it fairly quickly. It was a really cool boulder problem, very Swiss type. And I also managed to add a bit of a different variation on it, which I was pretty chuffed with. I think there's another session there already, so looking forward to going back.
Nice.
Found the brush. Right. Final board session of 2024, and a pretty good one to end with. And so my final boulder problem is Pinturas something set in Albarracín. It was my first time in Albarracín. I don't know why I've never really been, but it was awesome. I think the most awesome thing about it was just having really reliable conditions. Hardly rains over there. Again, Pinturas is just a mega line. It's this kind of groove. If you want to see that video of that's in my Albarracín video, which I'll link up somewhere up here. So yeah, 2024, another good year. Not super successful climbing wise for me, but still had a great time. 2025, pretty keen to get back on making videos for YouTube. Kind of enjoyed the last few videos I made, so expect more videos. Keep trying hard every day. Let's keep it going.